morning, good evening, and wherever the sun may find you. My name is Walt, and this is Coffee and Concepts. Uh, Bausch, Bauchus Gamer, good morning to you too. This brewed up Josh Hayes, rockin'. Just wanted to say good morning to all those writers out there who are burning the midnight oil into the early morning hours, and all of those of you who are just getting up now and starting to clack those keys right across those pages and getting it done with a little bit of caffeine in your steam to push you forward into the morning. This morning I am rocking. This is an Ethiopian blend. I've talked about this before. It's a little bit of a berry taste, kind of floral, really, really smooth coffee to finish out my night. For those who don't know, I am a nighttime worker, a vampire, if you will, and a nice cup of something at the end of the day is a good way for me to unwind and get my juices on the downside. We got Mr. Brian Manser saying good morning. Hola, senor. Um, as far as the coffee thing goes, we need to talk about a serious, serious thing in the coffee community, and that is candy coffee. If you're not familiar with the concept, you walk into some place like Dunkin' Donuts because you need a bagel sandwich or something, and then you look over and somebody has a giant 32-ounce cup of coffee with 5 pounds of sugar, 2 pounds of cream. It looks like milk over ice, and I don't know what to do with that. um, I enjoy coffee black because I like the taste of coffee and I like to taste the different types of coffee. And I find it really interesting when coffee comes from different places because of how it affects the taste. Like, for example, the Ethiopian blend. Um, they have like a fruity taste almost. If you go to someplace like Kona, like we talked about yesterday on our special Monday edition of Coffee and Concepts, that coffee has a tendency to be a little lighter, less bitter, a little bit not smoky, but almost like lightly salted. So, I mean, the variations of where the coffee is grown, how it's cooked. I still can't bring myself to try Kopi Luwak, which is the most expensive brand of coffee on the planet. But I will not, I just can't bring myself to drink something that comes out of the wrong end of anything, much less an animal. Um, um, but I find these taste profiles interesting and how they vary from place to place. And when you're adding all that, you're really robbing the coffee of Scott Moon. Now I want some lightly soft salted coffee. Get with me. Get with me. Send me a PM, sir. We can hook that up. Um, so I mean, you have these all these great coffees with these different flavor profiles, and by adding 2 pounds of milk and sugar to it, you're basically erasing all that and turning it into coffee candy. Um, Now, if coffee candy is your thing, um, uh, putting all that go cat poop drinks. Oh my goodness. And Sam Point saying New Guinea Highland. Um, but if candy coffee is your thing, then rock and roll, cops and robbers, Dunkin' Donuts, you do you. I'm just saying, if you take that out and um, kind of play with the bitterness that comes with having coffee without all of that in it for a little while, eventually your taste palette will start to pick up the different flavor profiles, and then you will find that um, Scott Moon coffee candy is okay. Once or twice a year or year. I still can't do it. And then Brian Mansur says, sounds like an effective weight gain program. Yeah, I mean, the amount of cream and sugar you see in some of these coffees, it's just mind-boggling. Um, uh, I drink straight black when I drink it at all. Right on, right on. I mean, sometimes you get like some of the fun types where you have something like a latte or you have a cappuccino. What about bulletproof coffee? Wait a minute, we need to have a whole nother. You have to come on next week so we could talk about bulletproof coffee. Um, so once in a while, you have something like a latte or a cappuccino or stuff like that. But yeah, all that cream and sugar, I don't really feel is good for you. Facebook user saying, "What about what about flavor roasted coffee?" Um, so as far as flavor roasted coffee, that's coming from Tyler Davis, by the way. As far as flavor roasted coffee, if you're talking about stuff like vanilla, hazelnut, stuff like that, chocolate roasted coffee, those are actually flavor profiles that are infused into the bean. It's baked into the bean when it's cooked. So I mean that kind of stuff is not a big deal because it's not actually taking away from the overall effect of the bean that you're getting. I'm talking more of actually masking the taste of coffee. In the state I'm in Rhode Island. A big thing here is coffee milk. They have this type of syrup. Um, uh, and it's kind of like if you put strawberry syrup or chocolate syrup in your milk. They take this syrup that's like coffee ice cream flavored, and then they pour it into milk, and then you drink your coffee milk, and it's just a different um, flavor of milk. Uh, I mean, that to me is like candy coffee. But as far as like hiding the flavor profile of whatever it is you're drinking, it's a little weird. So that's my coffee talk for this morning. So I'm thinking Scott Moon's like bah, and he's also saying I really enjoy flavor roasted coffee. Yeah, I'm drinking a chocolate caramel today from a local place. So yeah, I mean if your coffee company is toasting the beans in caramel and chocolate as a flavor profile. That's pretty cool because now they're adding to the effect of the taste. Whereas, um, hey, Guy Anthony DeMarco as Facebook user. But the other side of that is once again, those flavor profiles are kind of cool if you're experimenting with the different tastes that you can find in the coffee that you're drinking. It's a little bit it just strikes me as a little bit weird that you would hide the taste of what you're drinking just to make it palatable. So I think there are better alternatives. So there's my coffee talk. And now onto a little bit of the concept for our writing and reading community. So you get into this writing thing, and then you catch the bug. You really start enjoying it. You start crafting and pulling and weaving this thing that is partially formed in your head, and you start writing it down on the page, whether you're typing, whether you're tapping out with a pencil, whether you're sitting there on an actual typewriter, clacking that stuff out. So then you forge your timeline, then your outline. Now you're getting your character studies done. You get your 5-part Slack channel with your dedicated betas that you've cultivated from like your cousin, your mom, your aunt, your uncle, your dad, everybody that you managed to cram or bribe or gag into giving you a little bit of feedback on your creative work. Then you create a Discord channel. You start dictating some of your work so that you can get it down faster and farther, and while you're doing other things, and then you get highly caffeinated, and then don't forget to take a minute. So we can get so wrapped up as writers that you forget that there is this whole other aspect to what you're doing, and that is to be inspired by someone's work, to read, take a minute, just sit down, read, or throw in an audiobook, which is really cool for these days, and actually take some time to refuel the tank. We want to get those words down. We want to get the most out of every minute of free time that we can to kind of meet those deadlines, or submit to publishers, or learn another thing so that you can be a better self-published author. But at the end of the day, don't forget that the whole thing that probably got you into this in the first place was something you read by somebody else that fired you up enough to say, oh my God, I would love to do this. Maybe I can. And I think that's a lot of fun and a very cool aspect to everything that we're doing. Lauren Moore is saying that she's reading Patrick Rothfuss right now, and that man can write. So the sultry voice, Walt, is sultry. I'm trying to be a little quiet today because I don't want to wake up my wife. But yeah, I mean, we all got into this because we all of us enjoy something that somebody wrote, and it lit a fire from that tiny spark. And got everybody's imagination fired up, and said, hey, you know something? I bet you I could do this too. And I think that is a wonderful thing. But just remember that you still have that available to you once you start writing. I know my guilty fan indulgence is the Galaxy's Edge guys. I love their stuff. I love that they took a property that was that had turned highly commercialized, and I don't know, we got Guy Anthony DeMarco, maybe? Nope, it's Tyler Davis saying we might even get Doors of Stone this year, supposedly. I'm gonna have to look it up. My head's been buried in stuff because, I'm essential. But yeah, I mean, I love the Galaxy's Edge stuff. I love some of the fringe stuff they're doing. They're going to love that you said that, Brian. I love the Valor books that Josh is doing. I love the Dark Landing series by Scott, and Lauren is saying that both of those guys should team up for an Enemy of Man of Valor. But I mean, there's so many great authors out there that inspire me to keep trying this and keep writing. And it's really great when I get that minute of hop in the car and on my way to work, and I can listen to a chapter of a book, or when I'm out there with the dog and we're sitting on the front lawn, and I break out my Kindle so that I might be able to read Valor of Valor. But please, take a minute, and when you're drinking your coffee and you're clacking those keys and doing that thing that makes you, don't forget to have a fan minute. Sit down with that favorite author. Refill your imaginative tank, and get that passion reseated, reset, and ready for proper cycle of operation, so that you can get your own words on the page, and have that nice work-life balance. So don't forget to chase Josh, Scott, and Chuck on Monday nights when they do live Keystroke Medium, where they talk about reading, writing, and a little bit more. Of course, you're listening to Keystroke Medium's Coffee and Concepts with me, and the dog who's being shy. And Thursday nights, you have Lauren and Kayleen, Ethiopian roast kicking in. And they are doing the writer's journey, where they discuss concepts and key points of becoming a writer, and how to better yourself on your way to getting those words out there. Josh Gayu does long form storytelling. And you can chase his channel on YouTube, where he gets really deep in the weeds with many of the people in and around the writing community. I just want to say thank you very much for joining me this morning. Don't forget to bug Josh Hayes, the Infiniboss of Keystroke Medium, and let him know that we need a Keystroke Medium roasted coffee. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a great day. And this is where we have an awkward silence.